Ooh la la, Sassoon. Ouh, les jeans tout cachés. Ouh, les choses habillées. Tous les hommes qui portaient le style signé Sassoon. Sassoon. Ooh la la, Sassoon. Ooh la la, Sassoon.
Reach out, oh, Ray and Steve. Reach out, with Ray and Steve. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the car. Root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. Play ball.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. Welcome to Reach Out with Ray and Steve. Now, this is the show where East meets West, where the Yankees meet the Dodgers, and baseball meets music. And we all come together for community.
This is Reach Out with Ray and Steve. We're live here in Fairfield, Connecticut, Patterson Club golf outing. This is Hank's Yanks. This is a great event that they do annually here. And we are behind schedule here because of a great event that just took place over in the dining room where a lot of people got awards. Chaz Palminteri was there. Ron Duguay was there. Jeff Nelson, John Starks, Shane Spencer. A lot of great people here that have been doing such a great thing here for Hank's Yanks. And we have a lineup of special guests. But before we get to that, we have a couple of things. First of all, Bat Boy is coming back here to the Argyle Theater coming up on August 8th, which is a couple of weeks away. And Babylon, New York, Bat Boy, Ray Negron's story. So you want to check that out. Get your tickets at the Argyle Theater. Tomorrow, we're going to be at the Boys and Girls Club in Kips Bay on July 20th, which is in the Bronx. We're going to be at the Boys and Girls Club in Mount Vernon, which is also right there in the Bronx area. And then August 7th, we're going to be at the Argyle Theater. August 7th, Arts in the Plaza in Long Beach. August 13th at the Yogi Berra Museum in New Jersey. And September 15th, we're going to be at the Babe Ruth Museum in Baltimore, Maryland. But before we get started, we have a special guest here, Shane Spencer, a superstar from the Yankee organization, and he's done such great work. And he did as a player, he really kind of did his thing and got a lot of big hits for the Yankees back in the day. And Shane, welcome to the show here tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, talk about what it means to be at Hanks Yanks tonight.
Just to give back to the kids. I teach anywhere from 10-year-old to college to pro. So, and it's not just about the baseball thing. And I think Ray said it very good that it's about more like life experience.
Right.
And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I hope they continue this thing, and it's great.
Right, and talk about when you came out with the Yankees. You came out of nowhere, but you were that spark for the Yanks. Talk about your time with the Yankee organization.
I'll be nice.
Okay.
No, it's good. I mean, when you come up with guys like Jeter and Pettit and Mariano, Posada, those guys are like Bernie Williams. Those are the guys I came up with, and you just and George Steinbrenner.
Right.
I think he was the biggest key. You just he expected so much out of you that you expect to win, and that's the way we came up, and that's the way it was back then. Mm-hmm. So it was a great time to be there.
Now you say you're a coach now. During the pandemic, everything got stagnated and kind of delayed and stopped in its tracks. Talk about the growth of young people now that want to play baseball and coming out of this pandemic. Was it frustrating for you as a coach? And how are things looking now?
It's for me, it's a little confusing because I was in Korea for 4 years running the minor league system, so I didn't really get to see these high school kids, college kids that were a year back, mm-hmm. and they. It's frustrating because I have young kids that were playing sports and they had to leave California to go to Arizona, Vegas, so it's very frustrating to do that, but. It is what it is, and you got to live through it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just move on.
Right. Now, it's almost 20 years since 9/11. Can you believe it's 20 years? And you guys were in the World Series in 2001. You hit a big home run that we're going to show our viewers a little bit that kind of started things off for the Yanks. And let's check it out. Shane Spencer.
Spencer deep to right. Gone. 1-0 New York.
That's such a big hit, 2001. Talk about that home run, but also 9/11, how it affected the team back then.
Well, I actually did quite a bit of charity work with Schilling in Tampa, St. Pete area, and a great guy. Obviously Red Sox, Arizona,
That's
obviously
right.
the Yankee. But when you do stuff off the field, it changes everything. So that was a different moment for me. We got to talk about it a little bit, but it was great. It was very difficult for the 9/11.
Right.
You go out there every day and you're holding hands with policemen, firemen. Everybody's crying. It was definitely, you can't explain it.
Right.
And if you weren't a part of it, nobody will understand it.
Right.
And it was a very difficult time. We were lucky to even be in this series with Arizona because they were better and they were playing better. I don't know what it was in New York,
Mm-hmm.
the old stadium. We somehow found a way to win, and it was just special.
Do you think we're feeling for the New Yorkers there? 'Cause obviously, they went through so much. Everybody in the world, everybody in the country went through, especially New Yorkers. And for you guys to get to the series at that time, win or lose, that must have been, a great thing for us.
Well, listen, I'm from San Diego. I'm a Padre fan, Charger fan, not a Yankee, but I respect the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a part of them. But it was the first time ever being in the Yankee organization where people are actually rooting for the Yankees,
Right.
like non-New Yorkers. So it was very special, very cool. And, we didn't win, but I think we still won a lot of people's hearts, and it was a tough time, and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, it came at a time when New Yorkers really needed the most. And Mariano Rivera got unanimous Hall of Famer. And, most people will be defined by key moments in playoffs. And he gave up, a key little single to Gonzalez, but no one even remembers that because of the greatness of him. What's your thoughts about Mariano?
Well, we signed the same year, 1990. So he was the best player that I ever played with. Didn't matter if he was pitching. You could put him in center field, and he was the best outfielder. I mean, he's just and a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way. And I'm going to go back to Steinbrenner. He kind of made you do those things.
Right.
He was just very, hey, this is the way. You're going to be clean cut. You're going to do this, and you're going to work your butt off.
Right.
And that's what we grew up doing, and it was awesome. And you try to instill this with the kids that you teach now, and it's tough because Steinbrenner's a little bit tougher than we are.
Right.
But Mariano is, obviously the best ever.
Right,
so
right.
It's great to be a part and play with him.
And we're here at Hank's Yanks event here, and Ray Negron was a big part of that. He got the ultimate second chance from George Steinbrenner, and he in turn now is giving second chances for young people. When you see young people in uniform today, really excited about playing baseball, but really understanding life in general. We heard Chaz Palminteri talk, but what is that moment like when you're a young kid looking up to some of the heroes, but what advice would you give to them?
Well, I think Ray said it unbelievably. It was a special moment. It's not about baseball. It's about what you can do in your life. Can you be successful? And I'm not saying it's like a monetary thing, but can you be successful in something you want to do?
Right.
And when you give these kids an opportunity, and that's all they need to have is an opportunity, and then it's up to them.
Right.
And if, they don't take that, that's their choice. But as long as they have an opportunity, then I think that the people that are making these things happen, they're doing their job, and then it's up to the kids after that.
Right.
And that's all. As a kid, even growing up, all I wanted was an opportunity.
Right.
And some of these kids are taking advantage of that.
Right.
And that's all you want. You want to make that happen.
Right. They say you're a San Diego fan. The Padres look pretty good this year, and you think they got a chance?
They're missing a few pitchers, but I actually don't watch baseball, even though I coach it.
Okay.
I actually don't watch it because it's just too much baseball. But
Right.
I'm a football guy. So.
Okay. All right. So you're a Charger fan.
I am a Charger, even though they're in LA now, but I'm a Charger. I am a Charger. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm
Bolts all the way.
There we go. I'm actually a Viking fan, so I've been a long-suffering Viking fan. Never won a Super Bowl, but
Chargers are San Diego. There's no winning season in San Diego history. So
Right.
unless you're talking about indoor soccer.
right.
Whatever.
And losing Phillip Rivers, what did you think of him as a quarterback? And,
I loved him.
Yeah.
Guy just threw it up there.
Yeah,
and
he
I'm
was
sorry,
feisty.
New York fans, but he was way better than Eli.
Phillip Rivers. He
Sorry.
went to Indianapolis now, and he had his chance. I always thought he was a really gutsy performer, kind of like the Brett Favre there.
He was. He's not Brett Favre, but he's definitely Hall of Famer. He's a great quarterback.
Mhm.
He was a competitor.
Mhm.
That's what I like about a good athlete. Are you a competitor?
Right.
Are you going to give it every day? And that's what Phillip Rivers did. And I appreciate everything he did. And I'm a big fan.
Yeah. So coaching, final thing, when you coaching young people now, what are you teaching them first? Is the fundamentals of baseball, or is it life, or you kind of bring it all together?
I guess it depends on if it's just a single lesson or you're doing a team thing. But the swing never changes.
Right.
They're trying to teach basic mechanics. But then as they get older, if they're around, then you just try to get them to okay, let's go to the next level.
Right.
But then let's just try to where do you want to go from here?
Right.
And if this is where you want to go, how do we get there?
Right.
And it's as simple as that. And that's all we try to do. But we're not trying to make you Mike Trout.
Right.
We're just, even though parents think that, we want you to get to the next level of whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
And that's it.
And you heard Leo Caputo talking about how important it is. You see those relationships where young people are not just playing baseball, but they're actually going to college or
Absolutely.
succeeding in life. And that's what it's pretty much all about, right?
Yeah, so my buddy runs an organization in Hamden, Connecticut, and that's what he does. He's just trying to get these kids in college.
Mhm.
If you think you can get past that, that's
Mhm.
fine. But we're gonna work with you and give you the looks, and that's it. It's up to the kids, you know. You put them on the right track, and then it's up to them.
All right. Well, Shane Spencer, thank you very much
I
for
appreciate
popping
it.
in here.
Yeah.
God bless. I know they're serving dinner in there. Thank you for dropping by here and reach out with Ray and Steve.
I appreciate it. Thank you very
All
much.
right. Take care. That's the great Shane Spencer, a Yankee hero back in
Good
the
arms
day.
back.
And there we go. Look at those arms.
They're
But,
gone.
he came through in a big way for the Yankees back then. And 20 years since 9/11, hit that big home run in the World Series against Arizona. And we're here at the Patterson Club here in Fairfield, Connecticut, where we're here at Hank's Yanks event. Hank Steinbrenner was really the person behind the scenes for all this and kind of really did a great job, building up Hank's Yanks. And Ray Negron was a big part of that as well. And, when we talk about, you heard Shane talk about coaching young people and how it is important to teach them life skills, but also the fundamentals of baseball. But it's really about how to succeed in life. And I think what Shane talked about that in a big way. It was very, very important. But we're here. It's live. And Ray, we got delayed here because of the event here. It's a great event. It was a golf outing all day. And then we had a dinner and awards here. It's all about the kids. And, we have about 30 people here from Hank's Yanks, about 20 kids in uniform. Some of them have gone on to college. Some of them are playing. Some are young and kind of want to just learn as they go on in the baseball field. So this is Reach Out with Ray and Steve. And Ray will be joining us shortly. And we are having Bat Boy in a few days. Actually, yes, we're going to get some more guests here coming on. So we're gonna, really bring them on. But Bat Boy will be at the Boys and Girls Club in Kips Bay tomorrow, which will be a 11 o'clock start for all the kids there. There's about over 150 kids that will be there, being able to see Bat Boy. And we have we'll have some special guests real soon. But that will be at the Kips Bay Boys and Girls Club real shortly. And then on July 22nd, we'll be at the Mount Vernon. And Ray is joining us. Let's get Ron Duguay is our next guest here. And let's go to a little video back of Ron in the past. It's there he goes, 274 career goals, a bunch of assists and games played. And Ron, thank you for joining us on the show here today.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Talk about being here for Hank's Yanks.
Well, it all for me, it goes back to being back in New York in 1977.
Right.
I came here as a New York Ranger, but as a New York Ranger, I became part of the community, and part of the community is being connected to the other sports,
Right.
which was the New York Yankees.
Right.
Iconic New York Yankees, and I got to know some of the players back then, and one of them was Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And along with Reggie Jackson came Ray.
Oh, okay.
So Ray was kind of his escort,
Okay.
making sure that he was staying out of trouble.
Okay. All right. We'll go with that.
And so when I think about all of this right now, I've gone full circle.
Okay.
And so I've always had this love and passion and respect for the other sport, other teams, the Yankees. And here I am with Ray after all these years, because he'll bring up stories about me back then.
Yes.
And we're still, I'm still around. I'm part of the community. I've spent a lot of time in the Bronx
Okay.
with the kids in the Bronx.
Okay.
So I've had this leadership and literacy program that I would be talking to kids and encouraging them. And so Ray does a lot of that, and he's from the Bronx.
Right.
And so that's why I continue doing what I do, which is giving back.
Right.
I've been very blessed and grateful for all that's been given to me. And so what better way to be able to just move it forward?
Right. Right. Well, it's great. You had a great hockey career, and Tampa Bay just took another Stanley Cup 2 years in a row. I know you've been an analyst for a couple of years too. Talk about the Lightning. They're kind of becoming a dynasty right now.
Yeah, it's very difficult nowadays.
Right.
You have a good team, and often it gets broken up because you have a salary cap that you have to follow, and you're trying to keep these players. So the good thing about a team that wins is that you win.
Right.
But then these players are up for contract,
Right.
successful.
Right.
Now they want a pay raise.
Right.
And so how do you keep all these players? So I'm saying all this because it's hard. The biggest challenge for a manager is to keep a good team with the balance of veteran players. You got to pay certain guys certain amount of money, and then you got to have your rookies that come in. So it's a great accomplishment, not just winning, but being able to continue to win. And moving forward, I think that they're going to still be a team going to be difficult to play against. So, and the other thing is Florida. Right, it's a Canadian. I don't want to say it's a Canadian sport. It all started in Canada, but still, I think the NHL loves to see some of these Southern teams win.
And you played for a bunch of teams: the Kings, the Rangers, and the Red Wings. A bunch of games that you played in. Talk about your career back then outside of New York.
Well, I ended up. My first trade was to Detroit, and it was. If you can just imagine, it was a disappointment to me because I love being a New York Ranger. I love being in New York. I didn't want to leave, but circumstance happened. And so you just have to adjust. And so I ended up in Detroit, which wasn't the worst thing for me because I ended up playing with Stevie Yzerman, a center who was a phenomenal player. So I was able to I was in the middle of I felt like I was in my prime. I was 27 years old, so I felt like my best hockey needed to happen.
Right.
And so when you go to Detroit, there's nothing else to do there. There's no distraction. So I go to Detroit and I became a player, and I had 3 really good years there. And then I ended up getting traded to Pittsburgh. I spent a little time with Mary Lemieux. Then I ended up in LA where I get to play with Gretzky. But what happens is that once you've been traded once or twice, it seems like it happens. It's easier to happen.
Right.
So I've experienced playing with different players, different cities, but it all comes back to being a New York Ranger because that's where I grew up as a young man. Right. But I experienced all these other things, and I've gotten to know what it's like to be around, like in basketball, Michael Jordan. Right. What's the makeup of this guy? And everyone wants to know what's it like to be around Wayne Gretzky, Mary Lemieux. I got to experience that. Yeah. And so I can talk about that. So, personally, I didn't succeed as much as I wanted to as far as goals and points, but I got to be around some of the greatness.
You also played with Phil Esposito too. Talk about that. I mean, they worked together, but you also played hockey together. But he is a superstar and a Hall of Fame as well.
Well, Espo was like a father figure to a lot of us. So that was when I came to New York. When I got drafted, I came to New York. The first player I met was Phil Esposito.
Okay.
And I had admired him from the Stanley Cups he had won in Boston, and he had played for in Canada Cup.
Right.
And so I have this man who's going to be part of my team, who's an older man, knew what it was like to not just to be successful as an individual, but to be successful as a team. So, in 1979, sure enough, we ended up in Stanley Cup Finals. Well, he had a lot to do with that, because we had some young players, but he had a lot to do with just showing us the way, the qualities of what it takes to be consistent, to be good, and to be hard to play against.
Right. Now, the pandemic shut everything down for a year and a half, and we're kind of getting out of it now. But what advice would you give young people that were kind of stagnated in their growth, hockey on the ice or not? But moving forward, what's your thoughts on hockey in general?
Well, it's a time period that we're going to look back and say, well, that was strange.
Right.
That was strange. And how did you make up that time? What did you do? What is it that you could have done to just continue on becoming a player, or just not allowing things, because there's always bumps in the road in life.
Right.
There's always things that are going to happen.
Right.
How did you manage that situation?
Right.
Did you get all down and let it take you down?
Right.
Or did you find ways to say, hey, you know what? It is what it is, and I'm going to continue trying to be the best that I can be. And there's different ways of doing that. So if you felt like you've lost something, well, you got to find a way to gain it.
Right.
And so because I went through it in a different way. I didn't go as a player, but still, I personally needed some rest because I was going so hard. So the COVID didn't hurt me. It allowed me to kind of rest. Now I'm full of freaking fire. I want to do events. I'm here now.
Yeah.
And I want to make up for some of the stuff that I didn't do before. So it's just a mindset on how you look at things.
He's best. Everybody tonight is giving back, paying it forward. And it seems like that's what you want to do. I know I work along with Ray Negron, and that's what all he does, but that's important to you as well.
Yeah, I realize that so much has been given to me for so long. So many people have helped me along the way. And what better way to be able to show your appreciation for all that's happened to you? Because it's yes, I've worked hard for what I got, but still you have to have some breaks. You have to have people that are going to help you. People are going to care for you. And so if you don't get that, if you don't understand that, then I think you feel kind of shallow and hollow. Mm-hmm. And so I've always understood that, where it took me a while. Let me just say that I didn't quite understand it until I was in my late 30s. Mm-hmm. And then I started to understand, you know what? I've had a good life, and whenever I have an opportunity, I got to start giving back. Now I'm in my 60s. I want to do it. I love doing it. I love doing it because you see the difference you can make in someone's life.
Yeah, actually, it's part of all of our responsibility too. When you see young people on Hanks Yanks that are in their teens, and to hear people like yourself and other people get up on the mic today to learn about their experiences, it must be rewarding to kind of give back in that kind of way. I think we all need to do that more, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah, and you see the difference.
Right.
You know when you have young kids out there who've given an opportunity and come out and they talk about what it's made, how it's made a difference to them. That's even more encouraging for a guy to just keep doing what you're doing.
Right. And the last question, because I'm sorry, I'm an Islander fan, but those Islander Ranger rivalry, those games, they were pretty intense, right?
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a good team. They were a little better than us. They were, and I'm looking back at '79. That team was the team that was favored to win the Stanley Cup that year, and we ended up being kind of the Cinderella story, and we eliminated them. But for that time frame when I was in New York for that 7 years, I loved competing against them. It wasn't just the players that were on the Islanders; it was the excitement that we saw in the audience, the fans.
Right.
I mean, they went at each other pretty hard.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Ranger fans, Islander fans, and they just made it more enjoyable for us because of the energy in the building. But I really, like guys I've gotten to know, like Brian Tridy, Mike Bossy, Gillies, Nystrom, all these guys, they were hard to play against, but they were still guys that were respectful.
Right. Well, Ron, thank you so very much. Thank you for being part of Hanks Yanks today, and we'll see you down the road real soon.
Yeah, good to be here.
All right, guys.
Later.
The great Ron Duguay. I want to thank him for popping by here. It's a big event here, Hanks Yanks at the Patterson Club here in Fairfield, Connecticut. And again, outstanding career, 274 career goals, 346 assists. And you heard from him. It's about giving back. It's about paying it forward. And he wants to do more of it. He played in a couple of franchises, including the Rangers. He was an analyst for MSG, and he does such great work. And to see him here today, it's been really a true blessing. This is Reach Out with Ray and Steve. And Ray is out there, you know, kind of involved with everybody here because it's a big day for Hanks Yanks. We're honoring the great Hank Steinbrenner that put this all together. And we're here every year. We want to thank Leo Caputo for putting on this great event and inviting us here. It's been an amazing time where you can see so many great people coming together, celebrities, and also people that are coaches and teachers and young people. And you heard from early in the day, you heard from a young girl who's a teenager who is a baseball player. So it's been really a great thing to see. And Ray is joining us right here.
I'm bringing three.
Okay.
I'm bringing three guys who started with Hanks Yanks, and they ended up playing professional baseball.
All right.
Okay.
All right. And one of them you know really well.
Well, a little bit. I may know Max better. This is Max Watt. Are we on the air? Let's see.
Yep, we're live.
This is Max Watt, who was with the Boston Red Sox organization. Okay, Matt Duran was with the New York Yankee organization. Ricky Negron was with the Toronto Blue Jay organization. And you, go ahead, take it from
Yeah,
there.
and talk about Hank's Yanks. This is a big event right here. Thank you, Ray. This is a big event, but talk about what it means to be here today.
Start off, man.
Well, I guess we were part of the inaugural Hanks Yanks team, which started in 2009. And it was just an incredible experience. I mean, I can't thank the Steinbrenner family and Hank enough. I had the opportunity to meet him a couple times. He gave us opportunities to go down to Florida to get in front of the scouts, to get in front of college scouts. Kids, from the Northeast, which is like an overlooked area. And he gave us the opportunity to just play competitive ball. We got to go to Yankee Stadium a couple times and play a couple games against Mariano Rivera's All-Stars, which was, phenomenal. I had a couple good games. I guess I got a little lucky, right place, right time.
Okay.
And, I was drafted by, Cesar Prescott was the area scout at the time. He drafted me, and I guess that was history.
And talk about when you did get drafted, that feeling that you had inside, because a lot of hard work went into it. You heard Leo talk about earlier, it's not just about between white lines, it's about life too. Talk about that whole experience.
Well, for sure. My mom did not want me to sign. My parents did not want me to sign.
Okay.
I got into Columbia University.
Okay.
I had a full ride to go there. And to go to, what many students and 18-year-old kids consider to be their plan A+++,
Mm-hmm.
So I had that on the table. And then I got drafted by my hometown team. And, it was a very difficult choice.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to take that opportunity knowing that, they would cover, the cost of tuition later on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's not just about baseball. You have to use that as a vehicle for every facet of life. And, that's one thing that the Steinbrenner family did a really good job of.
Mm-hmm. And it's a great event tonight. Talk about Hank's Yanks.
Yeah, as Matt said, 2009 was the first year we were with the team. And to think 2009 to crazy, it's 2021 already. To have the legacy still going and have an organization run by fantastic people, continuing to keep it made me happy when we were walking up today to see more kids in the HY jerseys.
Right.
I was saying to Ricky when we came in, we were in those seats one day, and almost 12 years ago, which is crazy to say, but Hank Yanks was an opportunity for me to learn about life. It opened up a lot of windows to really see the true aspects of life, and I met a lot of different people, which helped me personally, and also in the game of baseball, right? It's a lot of people who played the game the right way, who played hard, and who made me a better person, made me a better player overall. So this event, to see the Hank Yanks tradition continuing throughout all these years, as from being here from day one to see where it's come now, it's an awesome experience. And I could have asked for a better experience with Hank Yanks. It's made me who I am today.
And Ricky, talk about your experience with Hank's Yanks. I mean, you got drafted by the Blue Jays, right? And then you decided to switch gears a little bit. Talk about your experience with Hank's Yanks.
Yeah, no, I'll just back on what they said. It's good to see that the kids now are taking it as serious as we did back then, and they're taking advantage of the opportunities that they are being given. And that's lots of that is thanks to the Hanks Yanks organization, and they're keeping that legacy alive. So it's a good thing to see.
Mm-hmm. And now you're in law enforcement now too. So talk about how rewarding that is for you and your
When the bus was getting sick, I wanted to be able to at least let him know that I appreciated him.
To me, Ray Negron personifies the American dream. He came from nothing with all of those people living in that house, horrible conditions in his neighborhood, and look what he's done.
He stands for every kid living in the inner city of America. Don't ever underestimate children, because you never know where their magic's going to take them, or what they're going to become, searching for that American dream.
Ragtag bunch of kids, and we, went to a lot of show people in the area on Long Island, and, we played well. We dominated. We beat those other teams in the area, and now Hank Saints, is a program that everyone wants to do. I spoke with on the buffet line as we were all getting to eat with how old was the girl? 12? The 12-year-old girl, and she said she wanted to get on the league, and I told her go get him and take over visitors. And you know what? She's gonna be the one. Yeah. She'll be the one. She'll be the one.
Yeah, we lost a great Hank Steinberg. Just talked about, have you guys met him and you have some thoughts on his legacy that he did forward?
If I say something, so my collegiate years, I played Elizabeth King College in Tampa. And just to draw the impact he had on myself, from Hank Saints on to my collegiate years, where I could have just went on, you couldn't care about it, you did. My first collegiate start, which our home field was in the Yankee Stadium. He was out there, he was a Ray, and after the game, he brought me up in his office, and it's still a story I'll tell to this day. After my first collegiate start, I was nervous as I could ever be. And to end up in Hank Steinberg's office right after, it's stuff I'll never forget. It was something that he did as a kid. And in high school, we went out to dinner. Me personally, I never thought I'd ever walk into Steinberg's street or meet them in the first place. And for him to introduce us and bring us in like one of his own, showed the true breakdown of what this organization was all about. It was Hank, Ray, Herman, everyone.
I hadn't been there for 4 years because I was just finishing up undergrad, and I walked through the offices in at Steinberg Field, and you see pictures from all the 90s dynasty. You see all the World Series championships out there. But when you walk into this, the offices, Hank Saints team when we won down in Baseball Heaven. That goes to show you how important we were to the Steinberger family. And this is Steinberger family. They own the New York Yankees. They've won 27 championships, and we were center stage because we were one of his success stories. Mm-hmm. And he was really proud of that. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I'll take through the rest of my life.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong, Hank Saints was devised to take kids off the streets and put them on the field so they don't get into trouble or create problems. Ricky, what's your recollections of Hank Steinbrenner?
I would say, Hank Saints is a big part of his legacy. We're not talking about the New York Yankees right now. We're talking about Hank Saints and what he left behind with this program. And,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to go a long way, and hopefully it'll continue for years to come.
Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts for young people? It's during the pandemic, we all got shut down and maybe people gave up on sports or theater or music. What advice would you give young people now that want to play baseball and get their feet back wet again playing baseball?
Use time to your advantage, no matter where you are in life. No matter what you're going for, find everything that comes up as a distraction, as an opportunity. You can learn from everything in life. I'm not trying to sound corny, but every little curveball that gets thrown in front of you in life, you can learn from. And if you don't learn from it, you're just never going to make yourself better.
Right.
And through a time like this, there's a situation. It was New York Post, I think, talked about as a pitcher just got drafted by the Marlins or Twins from the Five Towns area. During COVID, baseball shut down. What he did, he worked on his basement, put on 20 pounds of muscle, and he got drafted in the 8th round out of high school.
Wow.
It's about the opportunity you present to yourself. So you have distractions or curveballs thrown in life. use it to your advantage, and then truly make the most of your time.
Yeah, this past year and a half really took a toll on, organized sports and school, and kids have had a tough go of it. If we're being frank. But as in school, we can tell who does their homework.
Right.
So when we get the all clear, whether it's in a week, a month, in the fall season, we're going to see who really put the work in.
Right.
And that's it. It's a metaphor for life. You always have to be prepared. You have to do things when nobody's looking.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in a society where we really always want to be in the spotlight. And it's this past year and a half is really going to reflect the other side of that coin.
Right.
We're going to see who really did their homework, and that's something you can take through all facets of your life.
Mm-hmm. And Ricky, as an officer, but also a former Hank Yanks guy, what advice would you give young people?
I would just say, don't let anyone dictate, the way you pursue your dreams or what you want to do. You're the only person that can tell yourself no. Nobody can, tell you you're done or whatever it may be. But you're the one that makes that decision, and when you're done, you'll know you're done. And if you want to continue to pursue it, then you get after it. There's no excuses to have.
Okay.
If I say one more thing about Hank, because after Hank passed, I texted Ray. There's one thing I haven't really told a lot of people. When I was in Tampa for my freshman year of college, my college apartment was right next to the Tampa Yankee Stadium in Sunbury Field. Every night I would go down there not every night, most nights. I'd go down there to run. I'd go inside the stadium. I'd sneak my way inside the stadium. And every once in a while I'd get caught by people and I'd get kicked out of the stadium. And I was running stairs, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I was running stairs. Security got me. I was walking out. Hank saw me when I was told to leave the property. All I said was, "He's good." I was able to run every night, and I think that epitomizes what Hank was about. He knew that I was just trying to make myself better, and he allowed me to have that opportunity every night, and it was from there on.
It's hard to top that story, but I spoke with him last April when I was down in Tampa working, the analytics department, and I gave him a call. I was telling him tongue in cheek, I'm like, I haven't really heard from Hank in a while, and I just wanted to thank him, for giving me the opportunity to play, and not only that, to fund my college education, at Columbia University. And Ray wouldn't take he wouldn't take that as just on face value. He said, "We're going to call Hank right now." And you know what? He picked up, and I spoke with him for 20 minutes, and he remembered me as if it was 2011.
Wow.
When he was, when he was taking us to dinner, and he was, around us on a day-to-day basis. He knows every single one of his guys. He knew all of our success stories, however big or however small.
Right.
And these are things he never wanted in the paper. He was just a great guy, and that's going to be his legacy, as Ricky said. This program was just phenomenal, and it's going to continue being phenomenal because it's a staple of the Bronx and New York community.
Right. Well, the final thing, Ray Negron got the ultimate second chance from George Steinbrenner. Spray painting graffiti back in '73. The whole play about it. You guys are going to come again, right?
Of course.
But he got that second chance. So talk about Ray Negron real quick. What he means to you guys.
I mean, I started off. I think Ricky moved to Babylon in 2010. I was a year older than him, and I just met Ricky playing catch. Told him, if you ever want to throw with someone, he lived like 3 blocks down the road from me. Escalates three weeks later. Rick texts me to come outside. We go outside. I have my glove and bat with me, and every night from there on, Ray picked me and Ricky up. We go to the batting cage. The batting cage was closed. It was just us in there. But Ray every night brought us down there. We hit, we fielded, we threw, we got better. And from year after year after year, from going down to St. Pete and Tampa to every night just working out, playing Yankee Stadium, playing the Tampa Yankee Stadium, playing the best competition we could. The number one thing that Ray had for us was to make us better as a player, but more to make us better as a person. Wow. And that's with Hanks Yanks is truly what it was all about. I wouldn't, like I said before, wouldn't be who I am without playing for Hanks Yanks.
Wow.
And thanks to Ray and Herman and Hanks.
I mean, without Ray and Herman, I wouldn't probably be in the situation that I'm at. It's funny because I don't live in Long Island. I live in Westchester County. I live in New Rochelle. And we were down at Baseball Heaven in Long Island, and I was playing against them. And, Ray being the great general manager that he is, he came and poached me from my team. He said, "You're playing for us now." And that's how we created the team. We had me, Max, Ricky. We had a couple other guys that got drafted. And you know what? I was looking at the Hanks Yanks website, and we've had 15 to 20 guys go on to play professional baseball. This team has been in existence for less than 10 years.
Wow.
I'm not even counting all the guys that have played collegiately.
Right.
And we've had programs like Youth Service and, you know, all the programs in Brooklyn and in Upper Westchester, and they've been around for 40, 50 years. And we've outshined them. And that comes to Ray and Hank and Herman Hernandez, who had a dream. And this is going to be a movie one day. And I don't know who Ray's going to get to play us all, but this is going to be a movie one day.
You got it all figured out, by the way. So
it's going to be a movie one day, and it's crazy. You know, without him, this program wouldn't exist, and without him and Hank, this program wouldn't exist. And
let me say that definitely without my semen sample, Ricky wouldn't be here today. So that's all I got to say.
It just cost us a cable spot. But that's okay.
Yeah, there it goes.
But Ricky, talk about your father.
I'll just keep it on the Hanks Yanks topic. You know, when I moved here from, when I moved to New York originally, I needed a team to play for, and I think that's how this all kind of started. It wasn't about finding a team for me to play on. It was about, all right, let's help as many people as we can in the process of finding you a team, and so that's kind of how Hanks Yanks started, and all these opportunities for everyone came through that. So it's never been about helping one person or just his kids. It's always about as many people as we can reach out to, and I think that's what Hanks Yanks is all about.
We were all his adopted family, and he really looked out for us. He always put us in positions to succeed, to shine, and to give us opportunity.
Yep.
So if we're being frank, without him and Herman and Ray, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Like there used to be like 22-man rosters, but we'd have like 40 players, and we just throw them out there. What the heck? You know what I'm saying? If they filed some charges against it, what the heck? You know what I'm saying?
My brother was 14 years old. We were playing 18 and under over at Baseball Heaven.
He played 2 games for us.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
2011.
Shout out Jack Curcio.
It's kind of like
Shout
a
out
one-man
Pat
show in Bat Boy, where you have one person but 50 more people.
No, this was more like if there was ever a movie, because I'm telling you, it would be a movie. It would be Remember the Titans.
Okay.
Okay, that's how this team would be, and everything that they went through that first year. That first year team is the story.
But talk about what it means to see the future Hanks Yanks and the past Hanks Yanks. What does it mean being here tonight, right?
That everybody has hope. That's what it means. When I see what these guys became, how could you not be proud of all of them? And so that tells me that they have a chance too, because these kids, it's not like anything was handed to them, because we were always the poorest team. Okay, we had nothing. Nobody gave us anything. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's the way we wanted it, because it worked. And
when you see Chaz Palminteri coming down here and supporting what you do all these years, not just on the field, but as a person, what does that mean for you tonight?
All I know is that I love Chaz Palminteri because of the person that he was, who he came from. When you see the movie A Bronze Tale, that's him. That little boy is Chaz.
Right.
And look at what he came up to be.
That's right. Well, guys, thank you so much. We're going to have a little clip of Chaz on Broadway. And then we're going to hear a word from Robbie Robinson, our musical director, with us.
Is on the corner, Pop, and everybody says, "Good morning, Sonny," and "How are you, Sonny?" And they kiss his hand, Daddy. Stop it. They kiss his hand, Daddy. They do. Just like you on the bus, Daddy, when they say good morning to you, and "How are you, Lorenzo?" And they love you, they love him. It's the same thing. No, it's not the same. People don't love him. They fear him. They fear him, Claudio. There's a difference.
Everybody, a lot of people wonder, who is this guy, Robbie Robinson? Well, for the last 44 years, I have been the music director and keyboard player for Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. So there's Frankie and I think that's at Radio City. Looks like Radio City Music Hall. There's Frankie and I discussing some musical scenarios, I guess. And there we are again. I think that's the same venue, Radio City. Great venue. There we are rehearsing. That was just this year, getting ready to go out. Our first tour is July the 23rd, first tour date in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And there we are again. There's the band. This is our new band this year. Couple personnel changes. Really a great band. Giving you the Italian salute. Bob Gaudio, Frankie Valli, and me. Bob Gaudio is the genius who wrote most of the songs, one of the original Four Seasons. Oh, and there's Frankie explaining. This guy is one of the most passionate musical minds that I've ever known. Super talented. And it's been a blessing to work with him now for 44 years. Can you believe that?
We're back here at the Patterson Club here in Fairfield, Connecticut. Hank's Yanks, and you just heard from some fine young men that came up with Hank, with Ray, and Herm, and Leo Caputo. There's so many great people that put this thing together. It's about paying it forward, giving back. It's not about actually on the baseball field, but as you can see, these young people are very talented, but in life, they're even more special giving back. So we're all coming here together in Fairfield, Connecticut for Hank's Yanks. And we have a show right after this on the network, Chapters Network, Reminiscing with Gene. I believe he has a great show tonight. So let's bring Gene on, which I may not be able to hear him. But Gene, talk about your show tonight.
Hey, Stevie. How are you guys? Yeah, we got a great show tonight, just like we do every week. We have the first tenor of a group called The Times, who had such great hits as So Much in Love, Wonderful, Wonderful, and Somewhere and People. And then they popped it out again in the 70s with a song called You Little Trust Maker. And it's so good to have Caesar Berry with us tonight.
Well, Gene, we want to thank you so much. We're having audio problems, but I want to get you on. Have a great show. Thank you for joining our network. You're awesome, and we're going to come get you live one day real soon.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, that's Gene DiNapoli, Reminiscing with Gene. And again, we're here at the Patterson Club here in Fairfield, Connecticut, and a great event, Hank's Yanks. I want to thank my partner, Ray Negron, for putting all this together. Larry David for helping us out here, for all the kind of things he does behind the scenes. And I want to thank all the people past and present with Hank's Yanks. I want to thank Shane Spencer for coming on, the great Ron Duguay, and Nancy Newman, who was emceeing tonight. She did a great job. We also had Jeff Nelson here in the house, and I want to thank Charlie behind the scenes and Carmine for doing a great job. And I think we have a segue for Robbie Robinson's show tonight. I think he has a show from the West Coast, and he does great work. He's having Alan Hewitt on the show tonight. So you want to stick around and in a couple hours, check out Jam and Java's Facebook Live with Robbie Robinson. And he's coming on tour. He actually, Frankie Valli and the boys, including Robbie Robinson, are going to be at the Paramount Theater in Huntington on August 12th, and also in Atlantic City and all over the place. But we have a Bat Boys show tomorrow, July 20th at the Boys and Girls Club of Kips Bay, and then also July 22nd at the Mount Vernon Boys and Girls Club. And the big show, two big shows for us, the Argyle Theater on August 8th, Sunday at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now, $35 orchestra seats, $25 balcony seat. And then right after that, in New Jersey at the Yogi Berra Museum at Montclair State, August 13th, Friday night, 7 p.m. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I know we had some technical problems. We had some Wi-Fi issues, but Charlie and Carmine, thank you so very much. And Ray, again. So get your tickets for Bat Boy coming your way real soon. I'm Steve Vaccaro. Take care.